From Alaska, Grim After Dark, starring John and Danny.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not frozen. That'd be pretty funny, though. Hey, guys. Welcome to Grim After Dark. Guys, the Balance Dataslate came and went. The world sort of, about it, I guess. We're going to go through the Frontline Major schedule for 2023. We look at the #1 chess coaching tool. We share our greatest frustrations. I am a hydrocephalic version of Quentin Tarantino, and even though we are a group of elitist neckbeards, it's still going to be pretty grim after dark. My first co-host today is our classic high hairline Harry, Danny McDevitt. That's the noise we make when there's a technical issue in the show. Therefore, you're going to hear it quite frequently today.
Just nailed it.
Danny, this was all written without a co-host in mind, or a third co-host, I should imagine. So you want to go ahead? Guys, this is going to be the shock of the world, tonight's guest. You didn't think we could possibly get him on. Danny, why don't you build this up a little bit more?
Okay. Yeah. So to the surprise of no one wanted to come on tonight. So we have Val on again.
Also, we didn't ask anyone, to be fair.
Okay. So you may know Val from numerous theatrical productions and improv sessions from all across Canada.
Mm-hmm. Not from SoCal on Friday, though.
But no, not from there.
No.
Very absent. That was done completely remotely. I am definitely not stalling for any more time.
Yeah.
So hey guys,
Awesome.
Here's Val.
And also let you know Ben J, who I'm assuming is Ben Jirach, said I would have come on and chat.
Yeah.
Open invitation. Yeah, like we can kick Val off now. No, we can't.
Well, who's coming on? I just got
Ben
here.
J.
Yeah. Let's get Ben Jirach on.
The Ben Jirach?
Yeah, the Ben Jirach.
Wow.
Legend says,
he's
because I never
watching.
saw it, that he was the
Yeah, you know, it would have made sense content-wise for us to like get the guy who won our tournament.
No.
We'll mansplain what your lived experience for you, Ben.
Perfect.
You just sit back and we'll explain everything that happened. J Cal finally caught you losers live. Thank you for that.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, but you're watching this during football season, so who's the real loser, Ben or Jay? Man, you're all guys. Whatever. Guys, Frontline teased us last week with this image. You got to start with this because I loved the way the 2023 event circuit was revealed. Everything was redacted. With this specific event and this next slide here, the secret redacted event from January 26th to 29th, 2023, being a surprise event, which I think is ballsy to go up against the Las Vegas Open with your own product.
You definitely. Oh, John, I was going to say you definitely can't see the casino lights reflected in the water underneath the redacted part. So, just throwing that out.
That's true. That's true. Fictitiously famous. Greetings from the one audio listener. Bold move to join us on YouTube and turn off the video. The smart move. But on we go.
Good move.
Guys, what are your thoughts on these teases and this presentation of the 2023 season as a redacted with a couple of obvious choices and placeholders?
Well, John, I can speak to this as one of the leaders of this fledgling network. That is probably symbolic of the ramshackle, absolute last second, zero thought put into production style that we often have around here. Case in point, the PowerPoint presentation we're currently cruising through and delayed the show to haphazardly add things to. So I suspect someone said, Tech Priest Dicky, aka Kicker, said, Tech Priest Dicky, we need to reveal the tournaments for next year, but also we can't reveal the tournaments for next year. And then they did that GW redacted thing. It was probably done in haste and poor taste. That's the first 2 points on the style guide, if I'm not mistaken.
Look,
poor taste and poorly done. Yeah.
Yes.
As a consumer, John, of this product, I have to say I've never been more excited for Frontline's gaming events this year.
I'm just sad there's not an alternative to LVO the last weekend of January 2016.
It's actually
Hobby Class is still available.
You don't know that there's not.
That's fair. Val, you were about to correct me before I shield.
No, I was just going to say that they were just holding the spot just in case there was going to be a U.S. Open on that date. But I guess there wasn't, so that's good.
That's fair. That's fair. They did announce, and also super disappointed that the secret event August 13th to the 20th isn't a week-long tournament in, say, Salt Lake City, as opposed to a cruise. But moving on, they did announce the full season during the SoCal Open stream, which we can see here, including the addition of the Rocky Mountain Open.
Ooh.
And a surprise, which was a cool Dicky special, surprise TPA event in September.
This is not Dicky. That looks Dickensian. But this is in fact not Dicky. However, that means though that no one did catch the surprise. Although that's a surprise. That's a surprise. Okay, cool. All right, we're good. I thought there may have been
that word now.
No, it is a surprise.
Well, that's why you have like a shit talking podcast that doesn't actually do anything tactical in your network, so they can pick out these things like this. The other thing I picked out here, Danny, before we go to thoughts in the lineup, do you believe, and Val, as an official representative of Frontline Gaming, will the Rocky Mountain Open
at the start of the sentence? Yes, go ahead.
Contain? Will they be serving Rocky Mountain oysters?
Good
would
question.
those be bull testicles?
Yes, they would be. That would be a Rocky Mountain oyster. And that was
I always
thought.
knew those as prairie oysters.
Well, look, this is one of those Canada versus the U.S. things. I mean,
what, you don't put clams in your tomato juice? What's wrong with you?
Whoa. We like clamato just as much as everyone else, okay?
No, you don't. Don't.
We do.
What?
Yeah.
What? Give me a break. Don't gaslight me.
I drink it all the time.
You drink clamato all the time. You drink clam juice and tomatoes all the time, huh? With beer?
With beer.
Do you have
Why would you
clamato in your fridge right now, Danny?
No, I don't have any. I only drink it at the bar.
Convenient. Real?
With a beer? What?
Yeah,
okay,
do you want me to go run to the fridge and grab some? Is that what you want?
Yeah, absolutely do. Big Papa SC on Twitch. Is John wearing an England jersey? No, John is not. No, that's like the opposite of what I'm wearing. But yeah, so we have the Rocky Mountain Open. We have a surprise tournament coming up in September. What are your guys' thoughts on the announced lineup that's coming up here? We have, again, Las Vegas, Cherokee, Bay Area, Atlantic City, Lone Star, Cruise Hammer, and SoCal all making triumphant returns. What do you think of the addition of a Colorado event?
It's exciting for me, John. Somebody who lives medium close to Colorado. It's not that far. Well, I mean, it's like a 12-hour drive, but it's like not that far comparatively. So I could make it. I could drive there. I don't have to fly, which is very nice. Yeah.
Val, was this kind of how you saw the circuit expanding? Because we've seen over the past few years, Atlantic City's kind of come in, Lone Star's come in. Do you see like the addition here, like continued growth through the circuit for the next few years?
Well, I have no idea. It just depends on whether or not Kicker has a heart attack or some other sort of thing that prevents
entirely
further
possible.
growth.
That man's resting heart rate is probably not low.
Let's not discount that risk.
I mean, come on. He runs every morning. He might be from something, but he does run every single morning, and that's why it's important to catch Kicker. Sometimes Kicker will call me mid-jog, and it's just enjoy your run, buddy. Like, I can't understand what you're saying.
He doesn't need to breathe hard.
It's the wind on the mic. It's just, that was actually a really impressive microphone. Couldn't make it make a wind sound. Wow, technology. How do I feel about it? I think it's awesome. They're going all over the United States. Colorado, obviously, I mean, Kicker's done his homework on this one. He was a very strategic choice to put something there. I know certainly like Lone Star Open has been like a tremendous success for FLG, and like that one's continued to grow massively. This year, hopefully, we can get some momentum going a bit more behind Atlantic City Open because it's up in the sort of northeaster-ish Atlantic City area, but nonetheless, New Jersey, right, guys? Huh?
Wait, Atlantic City?
The boardwalk, guys?
City?
Monopoly spaces?
Yeah.
Mediterranean Avenue? Come on.
Would Atlantic City Open be the Brown properties of the FLG Monopoly board? Or would that be like a yellow-red
where do
situation?
FLG events fit on the Monopoly board? What are the green ones? We'll go green ones. Not quite Boardwalk Park Place, but they're upper tier.
Little Pennsylvania Avenue.
Let's take a stroll on Pennsylvania Avenue. Isn't Pennsylvania a railroad? Pretty sure Pennsylvania is one of the railroads. Yeah, it's a railroad, buddy.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know. Dude, I'm just throwing things out here.
I
Look,
tried
I'm not a
I tried
Monopoly
to
expert.
explain to my nephew who's like 10 or 11. He's starting to like, I don't know, be someone I can talk to now. And he was talking about how good he was at Monopoly. And I'm like, all right, kid, just never, ever, okay? Ever, never build hotels. And he's like, no. I'm like, dude, do not build hotels. And he like got into an argument with me. Like, kid, look, I don't want to have to play you in Monopoly and absolutely crush you. Do not build hotels.
Yeah.
And then I
Well,
realized
famous.
maybe I shouldn't push around an 11-year-old. But, whatever.
You are famous for not having an incredible competitive streak at any kind of game. So I think that's important to carry forward for the rest of your life.
Not competitive, but not usually good. But against normies. Huh? That's the key. Go play against normal people, not Warhammer nerds. That's a problem. Too good at stuff.
Yeah. To be fair, we do love the Monopoly chat on my Toy Army Man show. Thank you, Big Papa SC. Tactics are really important in that one too. We did have this question coming in from someone who I assume doesn't watch or listen to the show up in this next slide, but this is specifically directed towards you, Val.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were streaming SoCal from a Reese Robbins.
Whoopsie doodle. Yeah. That's like the Inquisition calling meme.
Well, SoCal was the first test of the great remote streaming setup. How'd it go?
Well, it was stressful. It was very stressful. But it did eventually get going, which was nice. It was one of those things where it wasn't a 3-day event. So this event has dropped down to 2 days. So it was Saturday, Sunday. And it was so we had Friday to set up, and honestly it was one of those situations where at the end of Friday I was sitting there like, this thing's fucking running like a dream. We're rolling. We're like this thing's sexy, it's looking good. I had an overlay that wasn't like all jumbled up and gross, and then something happened where it was the end of the night, and for some reason like the janitor rolled in and they were like, hey, who's got this extension cord? And I found out that apparently our power was being powered from an outdoor outlet. And the janitor claimed he could not close the door without unplugging everything. And without saying a word to me, remotely, one of the guys on the ground just yanked the power out of the wall and just wrapped up and like put everything away. And that was it. We were done our setup. Oh, damn it. Private dancing chat girls. And so... Go ahead.
Well, Val takes care of the sexy girls in chat.
32 of them. Where are they? 32?
Yeah, 32. Crazy. Do you feel janitors are really the true enemy of competitive 40K?
Often.
I think we can definitively say that, actually. We've got proof.
Was the janitor actually eventual winner Ben Jurek in a janitor outfit trying to hide his dice rolling into ruins day 1 and 2?
Definitely not, actually. But he did have a suspicious mustache, from what I understand.
Ben Jurek or the janitor?
Both. The Ben Jurek, I think, by the way. Although we could say
I think that's on Scottish accent, so let's not judge
Ben
him.
Jurek.
Well, no, it's just, I assumed it was
the true champion, Ben Jurek.
The feeling
Perfect.
when Val has the better Scottish
Flawless.
accent of everyone. Yeah.
John, are you
Very
impressed
sad.
by that accent? I just have to ask.
I am. Yeah, I
Okay.
had real Austin Powers 2 vibes coming from it.
Dinna be impressed by my accent there, Scotsman. Dinna be.
Is
By the way,
Innes here?
apparently,
Where-
happy
what's
birthday.
happening?
Happy birthday, right? Something about a happy. Is there a slide for that? Anyway, long story short, guys. Basically, we clicked go on Saturday, and my entire world collapsed. One step at a time. It was like what appeared to have been built with strong lumber and 2x4s was in fact breadsticks, each one snapping as I put any exertion on them. This included the computer basically just fucking melting. This included the internet dropping. This included the mic set that I had with an advertised transmitter battery life of 5 hours, lasting for about 2.5 hours, notably not long enough to get through a round.
What
And
breadsticks are you eating that snap?
What are you talking about, man? Like a breadstick? Come on, it's got no tensile strength. You put any weight on, like a
Crispy
3D printed.
breadstick?
So,
Pardon?
dude, in Commonwealth countries, breadsticks come in like long, crispy, like crunchy.
Is this a cultural thing?
Yeah, it's a
Oh my
cultural thing.
God.
They don't exist in America.
Terrible. That sounds awful. Give me my loaf of bread with cheese on it, please.
Lad, you've never had a breadstick?
Just in case people were wondering, that was Canadian Val. I know it didn't sound like it, but it absolutely was.
So anyway, I was sweating, boys. I was sweating buckets, but we had executive producer of this show, Nick Horton, on the ground. We had Garrett, a fine gentleman, better known from Dice Check fame. He's often on that channel. Has been monumental in helping a number of streams of ours now. So he was there grinding. I didn't expect to have him. He was just like, "Man, get a free weekend. I guess I'll swing by and just like bleed for this stream." So it was fantastic.
That's cool.
And a guy named James, who's a new hanger on that Nick has duped into all of this. So, and then behind the scenes, we had Adam Camilleri, we had Dustin Henshaw, we had Tech Priest Dicky, myself. So like there was a lot of hands on deck, and I think we did get through it. I think ultimately it did hum along towards the end, but we had to strip it down quite a bit, and we'll do better next time.
Whatever works.
I think it was a good show in the end. I didn't feel great, but that's okay.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think you did share this next image here, Val, which shows kind of it's an art piece describing your journey over the weekend. I did add some visual, some tags on here. So there's a couple dents in this wall here. We have a round 1 dent. We have a round 2 dent. There's a little crack, which I don't think is a dent, so I think that's a Best Coast Pairing Solidarity dent, where they understand when things just kind of poop the bed. And then the email from Reese in the inbox dent.
Yeah.
It was a text message, but yeah. No, actually, that was
a Skype message.
That was all. I don't know if you guys watch American football, but I felt really proud of the fact that I finally had like a throwing of the headset moment. And so that was actually one whipping of my headset at the wall immediately over here. And you know what? I hate it. I hate that headset. That headset screwed me over in New Orleans with the hottest mic of all time. But it survived.
Was it when you shared your radical
fine.
views with the world by accident?
I shared radical views by accident?
Yeah, with the hottest mic of all time. That was a bad joke. Move on. Go back.
No, I just thought he was telling his wife his PIN number, and it just kind of exploded.
No, but there is a funny story where anyway, it doesn't matter. My wife in a grocery store one time, like over a group of people, went 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. What's 1, 2, 3, 4? And I was like, that's my PIN number, man. What the like? Why are you asking me this? Not actually 1, 2, 3, 4. That was a for instance. Anyway, we can move on here. But yeah, it was streaming 40K is incredibly difficult. I think that is the case, especially when you want to get fancy. I think it's I'm more and more wondering. I don't know, like the people who do this well do it kind of full time and pour a lot of their life into it. I just shorten my life over short periods of time by trying to cram a lot into it, but it takes a lot. It's always good to be humbled. I just wish I had picked something that wasn't in front of a very public audience all the time. But onward to LVO. By the way, boys, you want to do some between the round coverage, guys? What do you want to do? We're going to set up a desk for you.
I would love to. I will say, didn't buy the ticket insurance. You're going to have to help me out with that one there for the little championship. But yeah, no, we're going to make LVO the biggest LVO ever, the Rio. Tickets available for some things, probably.
Yeah.
But to be a true pro gamer, which all your streamers are, a lot of the players at LVO, true pro gamers, you need a true pro gaming drink. And this guy here is your answer because it's their brand new ad campaign. Milk, after years of relying on the Got Milk campaign, are now promoting themselves as the official performance drink of gamers. Guys, can we expect to see more milk at the table during Warhammer tournaments now?
The only thing I think that would improve the smell of a Warhammer tournament is milk.
Some hot dairy farts.
You know, like when it soaks into those Frontline gaming mats, which are available at any time.
You can't. They don't
normally-
soak in. They just wipe
Yeah,
off. They're high quality, man.
Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Just like okay,
Yeah.
you could squeegee them off. All right, yeah, definitely that doesn't. You know, I'm gonna need to see it work with milk before. Like, I think you need to give a live demonstration.
Oh, buddy, there's going to
So-
be a video section next week now.
Here's another probably cultural take, but up here in Canada, certainly in Ontario, at
God.
some point in the last 10 years, it wasn't milk, it was actually chocolate milk claimed the space as like a performance drink. So like chocolate, so it would always it would be like these
bathroom
people like
performance?
like immediate take an immediate hot dump drink, but like it no, there's just this incredible thing where it's just like, as a fat guy in the convenience store, I can now like walk through and be like, I want chocolate milk. Don't get a chocolate milk. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's a sports drink. And I just like pound my
Perfect.
I just pound my choco. I love
This will
chocolate
fuel
milk.
me as I do something athletic.
It's just that squat because I dropped a beaver nickel on the ground.
I can just imagine Lil Kicker after his 15-mile morning run, just pulling a milk out of his fanny pack and just drowning the whole thing in one.
Funny story, actually, John. He drinks it before he goes on a 15-mile run.
No, it's a recovery beverage. We don't want to be doing that's. I don't know if anyone's done the milk challenge here, but it's serious business. Also,
hard.
Kicker, guys, Kicker does not use milk with his cereal. This is kind of a thing that scandalized me. Makes a lot of sense when you figure it out. He uses Greek yogurt. Greek
What?
yogurt. That's right, folks. Not milk.
That
I've
just
never
makes
been more
both
disappointed
things
in my
worse.
entire life.
I don't know, man.
I
Actually,
was
it's super high in
13
protein. Greek yogurt's apparently good for you. I don't know. I don't need it, but it's
My parents told me that Santa wasn't real is a shadow of a comparison to how disappointed I am about this. Hearing this,
yeah.
Moving on.
Seriously, though, I
does
love milk, guys.
the percentage of the milk affect the quality of the performance given? Is your non-fat less effective at getting your players re-energized than, say, a heavy cream? So if you have a particularly stressful game, you just got to chug the heavy cream with a whipping cream down to re-energize.
it helps a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. As someone who has definitely given his son like watered down half and half when I ran out of like 2% or whatever. I think the heavy cream could it has its place. Maybe it's if you don't have a lot of space, you just need a little shooter. You want to reduce the total volume. It's going to work itself out in the end, right?
Mm-hmm. SoCal Champ, Ben jumping in the chat, letting us know he drinks whole milk. Which means
good to know.
He's obviously taking buy-ins from Big Milk to promote the whole milk campaign.
And those gains.
Man.
But guys, what kind of tie-ins are we going to see once Big Milk gets its hands on Art of War or Vanguard Tactics? Are we going to see like a video of John Lennon at a top table pulling up his socks before just pounding a gallon of milk?
Oh man,
What?
Like a sports drink promo featuring milk and John Lennon, and it's just like a slow camera pan up past his little dumpy socks, over his sock garter, up to him just like finishing off a like milky glass
with a big mustache, right? Like that's the important part. Yeah.
No, there's some serious milk drinkers, I think, in that household. I gotta say.
Yeah,
there's got to be.
Absolutely
That place strikes me as
You're delusional if you don't think that Mark Perry drinks milk straight from a cow every single day.
yes. I think the cow drinks
Doesn't
milk
use any
from Mark
hands.
Perry.
That's possible. That's possible. I wow. I never thought of that.
Change
A
it up.
milk-fed cow. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm interested
I
in this
mean,
concept.
What
Milk-fed milk.
is selfish cow? What is selfish cow? What, you want this to feed your children? No.
No.
Just
We're
for
going to
me.
move it on.
This
This
is
is a treat.
Let's talk about Monopoly, guys.
This week's episode.
How dare the chat
there's
chastise us for being off topic as we
there's been a
transition
major,
to this bit?
There's been a balance update. We're going to talk about milk and Monopoly. But what is a more appropriate performance drink for Warhammer players? So you have like professional Warhammer players, you have people going to these big tournaments. What is a more appropriate drink for them than whole milk? While you guys are thinking about this, Paul Christian, that isn't how you get mad cow disease. You get that by feeding cows other cows. someone who's
Specifically their
lived in the UK.
brains.
Yes.
Specifically
And-
cows' brains. Yes.
And spinal fluids. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Creutzfeldt Jakob.
Perfect.
That's
Delicious.
actually that's why John wasn't allowed into the continental United States.
Oh.
Actually, that's why I'm not allowed to donate blood at all. Fun times. Just a guy
Because you have
trying to
mad
sell
cow
plasma
disease? Is
for
that-
models.
He
Is that
might.
right?
He might. You never know. He might have shared some needles with some shady bovines back in. Haven't you seen Train Spotting, dude? Come on, man. Get with the times.
That's fair.
John lived
That's
that. That's actually a
fair.
documentary.
He did.
He chose life.
It's a biography. So chat's coming in, letting us know salty seawater would be an appropriate one, maybe for a lot of our player base. On the lower tables, if you're with me, it's a lot of salty seawater drinkers around there. We have a 32 ounce of PBR and a pack of Lucky Strikes. That's what we call the Val streaming kit.
That's right.
Danny,
Oh, man,
Val,
thank
what
God
is
I
your
don't
idea
smoke.
for the appropriate drink for professional gamers?
Oh,
Crab. Oh, go ahead.
no, you first, Val. You're the guest.
Well, am
someone,
I?
or whatever, or producer. I don't know. What do you? What even is
Whatever
this?
I am.
Yeah.
I was just going to reference the New York episode of The Simpsons and say crab juice. But we were also talking about Clamato juice, and that would have been a better callback. Over to you, Danny.
Well, it's obviously got to be crow's milk.
Fight
Yeah.
milk.
Yeah, fight milk.
Yeah.
Fight milk, yeah.
Chat coming in hot saying pro gamers, full bottles of wine. And that is a proven
Well,
tactic.
hey, if
Yeah.
you're
do
Brad
very well.
Chester,
Warhammer.
Yeah.
We call it chestering, and it's very good.
is
Up
that
until
what we
a
call
certain point.
Chester?
It's called chestering. Chat coming in with roll like a crow. People have finally engineered a way to prove that competitive chess can be discreetly cheated at. With this guy here, a website figured out how to produce something that
Raspberry
can
Pi in
vibrate
there?
and has
Yeah.
the potential to be undetectable. Guys, in case you guys didn't know, the chess world is just in a furious storm of controversy. We have dice rolling behind ruins and water cups. They have anally inserted communication devices.
Yeah, we call that the cheating suppository.
We do.
And the device was obviously intended to be, for those audio listeners, to be inserted into the human anus for means of communication for cheating at chess.
Or the
Still at-
cow, if you're really trying to top table it.
I don't think it's for a cow. You need a much larger one. I think that would just fall right out.
Joel Atkins with maybe my favorite comment in FLGN history. Yeah, jam that in your keister and act normal.
I'm glad you were able to read that with an accent. That's excellent.
I don't think you can say keister in any other way. Yeah, I don't know if it was inspired by this show or somewhere where I, for some reason, heard about the
Is this
scandal
how you beat Dickie at fantasy battles?
with a butt. What is the potential Warhammer adjacent usage here? Or
Well, that's the
for
next question.
vibrating
How
butt
can we
plug?
utilize this technology in Warhammer? Because essentially what's happening here is the accusation is they're putting the small device inside the rectum and then using their knowledge of Morse code
Yeah,
to
I was
decipher
going to
what
say,
it
dude, he's
says.
got Peter on line 2, coaching him on how to beat Dickie at Warhammer Fantasy.
Well, how many things in a you can like say a chess move in a pretty like efficient number of
Mhm.
symbols, right? It's like
Sure.
A4 to blah blah, right? Like you can do that. So from what I understand, this guy beat Magnus, who is this like he was a prodigy, but now we're all old, so now he's like the millennial chess prodigy, and he was beat by this guy who shouldn't have beat him. And so therefore the only conclusion that this Magnus fella could draw was that he was cheating. However, it's really hard to cheat in an IRL chess tournament because they actually they wand you down, and unless you have, some sort of like visible communication device and like you're like body searched coming in and there's footage of it and stuff. So the conclusion
Searches
was
have gotten
that
more invasive.
someone phoned Christopher Walken and was like, Christopher, I need to cheat at chess.
God.
And then
No,
Christopher
Joel
was like,
Atkins was the one calling.
like, so the only option you have is to hide that uncomfortable lump of junk up your ass. And that's what he did. He put a vibrating butt plug in his butt. I think this is just. I think it's the more likely scenario to me. Feels like this Magnus fellow got beat.
That's fair.
It's possible.
Is it? Is it possible?
I don't know. Maybe not. I do
He has
know
been
that
found-
FLG is going to be supporting a new entry for all tournaments, full body cavity searches for
a literal
for all
entry.
Now, who's delivering that full cavity search? That's the question, really.
That depends on whether you got the high roller package or not.
I feel really bad for Kicker though, as the event coordinator. To be honest with you, now
Oh,
he's got to wear a
man.
lot of hats.
Oh
and
man, I
gloves.
was hoping Frankie's mom was still working the check-in. What's going on? She's a saint. I'm suggesting that she would not do that, and she would get out of there.
Yeah, Val is
She's
very
helping.
happy
She's
with
been
this
carrying
position.
the LVO for years.
Absolutely. Okay. I want to try and say this, but I'm a very mature person.
Mhm.
What is the next phase of competitive cheating? Is there anything beyond the asshole?
Oh, yeah, a vibrating sounding rod.
Sounding rod.
This is a cultural thing.
That's what it is.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh
So,
man.
Sounding.
Well, Val.
So sounding would be when you take a metal rod.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh, it could be
you take-
glass too, actually.
Or
Mhm.
glass. Well, you don't want to do that. And then
Yeah,
you put
be
it in the
careful.
tip of your Peter
TP.
and then push it on down.
Aha. Yeah. Well, that's good times.
Today's episode, Sounding Milk Monopoly.
I see. Do people realize that the only thing you'll find is the back of your bladder? I mean, you could catheterize yourself. You could find out exactly what that's like. It's not great.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's no fun.
Yeah,
Anywho.
Lord
I don't know.
Maggot says, what if your Peter is curved? It means you can't cheat and you're an honest person.
Yes.
Peter checks. Coming soon to an event near you.
Bandage, never been an advantage until now.
Terrible models are timeless.
Uh-huh.
But this 3D print that I found, which is always a good start,
Oh, no.
Great.
of the Void Dragon,
Oh, my.
found at a special site called Only Satans, takes the cake. That's a funny joke, guys, because that's a big titty Satan kneeling on a bed. Danny, you're our resident Necron expert here. How much cosmic energy does it take to manifest a twin-sized bed you might find in a college dormitory?
That's good. Yeah.
Surprisingly little, John. It actually takes more cosmic energy or soul energy, if you will, life force energy to manifest that giant rack.
You know,
The jiggle physics takes a lot of cosmic energy.
So much, dude. With living metal, it doesn't really sync up well.
I'm just going to go out on a limb here, guys. I don't want to die on this hill, but I am going to go to bat here that of a lot of the sort of gross titties on things that we've seen, this to me feels less exploitive, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong.
The most tasteful.
It feels, you know, I mean, it's an odd fantasy. I will give you that, but it does look to be an of-age sexualized Catan. Although the single twin bed does give me pause, but you know, like not particularly gratuitously posed. I don't know.
Now
That
remember,
sounds
Val,
worse.
that the Void Dragon is like 30 feet tall, so that bed is huge.
It's a cosmic twin bed.
Yeah, which is a different scale altogether.
Jack coming in with a great point that the Satan are slaves, though, which makes this a troubling.
There we go. Damn it.
representation.
So yeah, I didn't pick up on that subtle subtext there. Okay,
No.
fair enough.
What are some of this Satan's powers, Danny?
Well, I'll tell you that the Sky of Falling Stars takes on a very different connotation, and the antimatter meteor is particularly spicy. Let's just put it that way.
Well then, moving on from that, what is something in 40K that cannot be sexualized?
That is just there isn't a thing. I mean,
It's
if this show is proven anything, there is you would think that there was perhaps the Dorn tank, kind of a frumpy a silhouette, if you ask me.
Val, I've got some news for you. I've got some pictures to show you from online about tank. Have you ever heard of tank girls before, my friends?
I was trying to be very, very specific, but apparently, yes. Okay, this is probably already sexualized.
Oh, Seth's on the right page here. He says the
Yeah,
thing in
I'm
40K that can't be
paraphrasing Seth
sexualized
here.
is Val.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's nice. Thank you. Thank you,
I was
Seth.
going to paraphrase Seth and say the thing in 40K that can't be sexualized is Seth.
Yeah. Come on.
It's funny. Signals from the Frontline now canceled.
No, they've just been moved to 1 a.m. Eastern time
Friday
slot.
nights at 8:30 a.m.
That's just the morning, Danny. Friday.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
We're going to keep with fan art here for a second because love is not forever. Friendship is magic with this next guy. I found this. It's a very innocent looking picture. Danny, you want to use your skills to describe it?
I don't know which My Little Pony this is supposed to represent, so I'm just gonna caveat that with this. I'm not a My Little Pony expert, a brony, if you will. But there is a Space Marine cradling a sister of battle power armored pony on his knee. There's no context. The Space Marine's face isn't finished draw. I don't know what's going on with that. It's very blank. Maybe it's a look of surprise. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to indicate. But yeah, that's the picture. And it says, was talking on Discord and this shit popped up.
Yeah, which is not interesting in and of itself.
No.
But it made me realize
Or surprising.
Sorry, Val.
No, I was just going to pop in SoCal champion Ben Jurek asking, can the new FLG counter height table be sexualized? And I just need to pop in there and say, actually, no, cannot, especially in the 40K community, can only support 300 pounds. So you're probably going to be in tough on that one. This is the
perfect time for your new drum roll. All right, like sound.
Which button was it, though? Damn it!
Will we find the button? Who knows?
No.
Let's say...
That's why Val can't be sexualized.
Hey, Ben,
you can never find the right button.
Hey, Ben Jurek, what you up to later? Well, there it is. Okay.
Oh. So say, for example, there's a lot of artists out there now taking commissions. Times are hard. So say someone wanted to commission an artist, say for the most ridiculous sketch, Warhammer 40,000 related possible. What would that be, guys?
I zoned out. What?
That's fair. I am talking. So say someone wanted to commission an artist to create the most ridiculous sketch involving Warhammer. Say, for example, Marines softly cradling with love a commissar
female space
by a little
Marines.
pony.
No problem.
I'll come in it all with female space Marines.
Wow.
Isn't that widely accepted? What? Is this a controversial? For the record, I was just being a jerk there. I think that's one of the dumber arguments in 40K. Go ahead, Danny. After I suck the air right out of the room.
I have no.
No, you got to add it up because my follow-up question is, what's Goat Boy's email? So let's go. What have you got here?
Goat Boy will draw anything. That's for sure.
We're gonna put that to the test, Danny. Chat too. Throw this out here. So we're starting with Val's base, a female space marine, which.
Oh no!
Thanks for keeping it uncontroversial.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, sure. Let's go. Val as a female space marine. Let's get meta. All right, let's go.
How about a male space marine in a Speedo?
That's fair.
I actually the first Thursday show of all time. Let me see if I can pull up the artwork. Featured a space marine in a Speedo.
His name is Adam Camilleri, and he's a treasure.
No, Space Marine, not Australian.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Joel, coming in hot in chat. I'm not going to read it out loud because that is actually something I'm going to send to some people.
Yeah, dude, Gilman as Sheriff McNugget, amazing. Good.
Describe this next slide for the pleasure of the audio listener.
So this is a picture. This is a picture of a man with a net worth of negative $900 million um, raging, wearing a I don't know, is that like a Pink Floyd t-shirt? I assume it's got some kind of a rainbow on it.
That's
Just
just the firmament.
so angry, and it's the caption is men saying women are too emotional, and the picture is indicating a man when they fail a 5-inch charge. I can really empathize with this.
Yeah. Guys, what's the most frustrated you've ever gotten during a game of Warhammer? And Val, for your benefit, I didn't add a number to the end of the word Warhammer.
What? Oh, I get it.
Actually, my story is about fantasy too.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say,
It's a very popular game. I
opened the
wonder why
show
that
with
died
me.
when your most frustrating times were playing it.
Well, it's just one game. I was playing a game against one of my friends. I was playing Orcs and Goblins. He was playing High Elves.
Oh man!
He, here, just wait till you hear this. I failed every single one of my animosity checks that turn. So
That
all
means
my
just rolled a 1.
Yeah, would you roll 1 on a d6 for each one of your units? And I had like 5 big units and some units that were immune. But all the ones that I could fail, I did. And I kind of pushed forward, presented my flanks to his army, basically. And I was so frustrated. Then he proceeded to just roll me and rolled super well, right? I was so frustrated that I picked up one of his dice and I spit it at him because he was rolling so hot. Because I'm an
guys,
excellent
this was
sport.
pre-COVID. Obviously, we're talking about Warhammer Fantasy.
Oh
here.
yeah, this was many years ago, guys. This is like 10 plus years ago. So,
but
I
for real,
I don't even know how you categorize that particular like example of aggression. It's like, first of all, you're picking up a filthy, sweaty game dice.
I know.
Putting it in your mouth, and then you're like Popeye spinaching it out at him. Like, is it a patooey? Is it a Is it like a hockaloogie?
Like blow at him, and it hit him right in his chest, and fell to the floor.
So it was more like
not like with a bunch of spit. Yeah, like that. Exactly.
Like if you had, for example, if you had snuck a piece of Nicorette in your mouth and you were to just,
just like that. Excellent. That was
dude.
perfect,
some people watch this in 3D, man. Not cool.
Wow.
Now I get it. Did you
like my Bloody Valentine?
Did you come to blows?
No, he's like one of my good friends.
Actually,
so he just laughed at me, like he's like, okay. you asshole.
Ironically,
keep that dice.
That dice he spat rolled a 1. What was
probably it did.
For me, I think almost all of my fantasy dejection has been covered. Basically, every stream I've ever had would be the most frustrating Warhammer-related event. And I could just go on about every single micro and macro aggression that streaming has brought to my life. It's, by the way, nothing more thrilling than when it works. However, I would say it would be failing a cold-blooded leadership check.
Oh, God.
With my Temple Guard and Slan unit. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was just a bunch of Saurus Warriors. The Slan was somewhere else. So that means I failed a Leadership 10 test. That means I had to roll above 10 on 3 dice, dropping the highest, and I did that twice because in a row. Very slim odds of that happening. Probably below 1%, I would say. And that was really painful. And then later on, one of Dickie's Slayers. Just one of them survived.
I think it's about 1.5%.
That's 1.5%. Thank you. One Slayer had survived because Slayers are useless and they die really easy. While they also, if one survives and just kisses the side of your unit, and you for some reason don't manage to kill it, it just holds that unit up. So that entire unit just never got anywhere for the entire game because they're jerks. That was very frustrating. Vividly frustrating.
Amazing.
So maybe more relevant here. You guys are now seasoned, mature people.
Yes.
What are some of your pro tips for staying calm at the table when things may not be going your way?
Don't play orcs.
That's a great pro tip, and one that I have followed to this day.
Real quick, just on that, who won SoCal this weekend? Was that Space Marines?
Look, I mean, Ben Jurek, it might still be in the chat, but maybe he might be able to comment. But like, I will tell you, like, I played 8th edition orcs, probably the height. I don't know about now. Obviously, like they have serious. Apparently, they're good again. I don't know, but like like I played like the height of 8th edition orcs, which had crazy RNG. So you had like the super shock attack gun, which was 2d6 shots, 2d6 strength. If you rolled over a 10, it dealt like extra mortal wounds on top, or it shot twice with strength 2. And like, so that kind of just like a just potential outcome, it just is too much for a Heffelfinger's heart. And I embarrassed myself a number of times just losing my goddamn mind, or like just rolling a 1 with your big guys with the guns, the Ludus. It was just tough. It's tough. The RNG is nuts, and fantasy battles also the same. Just orcs have just like incredible variability in their power. Maybe that's less so now. Maybe they've evened it out to bow down to the competitive community or whatever. But yeah. So don't play orcs.
Beautiful and poignant words from Warzone Atlanta champion. Danny, what about you? What are some things you can do to stop yourself from getting frustrated and kind of staying calm at the table? And what you guys have very succinctly pointed out is a dice odds-based game where some things may not go your way regardless of tactics.
I try really hard. I'm not always successful at this, and this is something I'm always continuously working on, because it's good sportsmanship is one of the most difficult skills to master, I think, just in general. And I feel like not caring so much about the outcome of the game and just wanting to have a good game is so much better for your sportsmanship and for your ability to contain your rage when the dice betray you and stab you in the back over and over and over again, until you're just this quivering mass of anger and angst. I think it's really important not to care about that so much and just really concentrate on having a good time.
If I could, I would say actually, like, I think you could still care a lot about the outcome of the game. I think it's being really invested in any individual outcome.
Exactly. That shouldn't matter to you.
Yeah.
It should just be like, are you doing your game plan great? And like, be mad at yourself for not coming up with a better game plan.
It's just when it's like when like when the guy in Grand Theft Auto like carjacks, I need this, and like steals the car. Like if you ever like about to roll dice, you're like, I need this. Like you're about to have probably a man tantrum, a big old baby kicking in like upsetness. Also, I'd say a really good way of controlling not getting upset playing 40K. I just don't play 40K. It's a good way. I haven't been upset playing 40K in almost a year now. Probably over a year without being upset about playing 40K. It's been fantastic.
It's beautiful. Chad coming in strong, recommending apparently substance abuse is the best way to not get frustrated over staying calm on the table. Speaking of remaining calm, the Balance Dataslate arrived last week and is this wonderful Evan Valdyke meme shows. Whoa. Is worthless. The crowd went mild. An Art of War stream, Richard Siegler showed emotion, which is more terrifying for the future of AI. Danny,
he's a human being, a good guy, that Richard Seeks. He's not a robot. He bleeds. He has a heart in his chest, just like us.
Can you prove that?
Blood. Listen, he's a man.
This is the Show Your Work podcast, Val. You need to prove that thing.
Look, corn syrup with red food dye in it looks a lot like blood. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
his blood type is sugar.
No, that's just what he drinks for lunch. Okay, like it's not. It's just a very efficient way of getting glucose in his bloodstream. Okay, some people do it. Some people drink chocolate milk. Other people drink just corn syrup with some red dye in it. Okay,
he's a pro gamer. He drinks non-fat milk.
Sugared cereal and Greek yogurt. Who knows? I mean, people have a lot of weird tastes.
That's still the most bizarre takeaway from today's episode, which I will not drop.
I'm going to be thinking about that. That's going to live rent-free in my brain for a really long time.
Yeah. Danny, what are your thoughts on the data slate that released? It was long waited for, long called for, and it was really pretty much nothing.
I mean, I think it's a little disappointing. I think people were hoping for more change. But ultimately, don't be a little baby. Like I think that people were overreacting to this data slate somehow. Like this was going to be some kind of a panacea, but honestly, the meta's in like a pretty decent place. So it's not the end of the world if this doesn't fix everything. So that's kind of my takeaway. I think people are overreacting to it a little bit. But hey, you know what? There's going to be another one in probably roughly 3-ish months. So let's rest our hopes on that.
When does the season run out? It would have to be January.
Well, that doesn't
right?
matter to the data slate.
Yeah. I mean,
No?
I think the
roughly?
data slate's for sure coming out before LVO.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't think
Maybe
so?
so.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's why they
Get
pushed
those
the
practice
we
games
need
in
one. I
because
don't
they
know.
might
That
be-
was-
I was
That's
gonna say,
pretty
get
good
those
out there.
practice games in for LVO because it might be functionally worthless rules time by the time it comes around. But then, why do you think people are so apathetic about it?
Well, John, I think people were apathetic about this data slate because they were hoping for bigger changes for some of the greatest defenders, and a lot of armies that didn't get changes, like Necrons and things like that, are able to put up these ludicrous numbers for secondaries and things like that. That being said, I'd be a little bit worried about any kind of modification that they do to an army like that, because it basically completely relies on its secondaries and not at all the army rules, because the data slates are all still garbage in that book. Like, for the most part, there's some okay ones, and the strategies are bad.
They did
Warlords are
realize
bad.
that the Silent King had the vehicle keyword, so like that was nice.
I mean, that was good, but they also said that people were resurrecting like catacomb command barges, which is not a thing that can happen in the game. So I'm not really sure what was going on there.
Their data came from their friend Chris's garage, where they watched 4 people play over a weekend, and they're pretty sure that Daniel can't do that.
We
with
just
the
all
couch.
log into Daka and see that there are just a bunch of like frantic threads from like totally not GW dev accounts, like being like, guys, what does this do? What does this
Those
do?"
random posts of, if you could fix one thing for Warhammer, what would you fix?
Most suspicious
It's
username
out
ever.com. Yeah. I don't know.
Joe, like,
What do you, as a casual observer of 40K at this point, not too many Haas's in the race. What was the thing that people were the big outcry? Like, because I have heard anecdotally from people being like, Simon, you should, yeah, that's my real name. Well, you should play
Thank God no
40K
one
more.
watches.
We've got almost 60 people combined watching. That might be a show record. Thank you, everyone.
No kidding.
But
9
anyway,
more for a nice number.
people talk about the game, saying it seems good. Everyone seemed really engaged, had a wonderful time, and all this stuff. I saw at SoCal. That wasn't me specifically. So, what is it that didn't happen that maybe people were really expecting? What was the unrequited love moment of this data slate that spawned the vitriol? Because I have seen a lot of like butthurt about it.
I think people were hoping for some more buffs to the armies at the bottom, like Space Marines. Like the fact that they said, "Oh, here's a secondary that you can score maybe 2 extra points on a game, on average," is and that's all they did for Space Marines at all. Is pretty.
No, they also told the player base that they were just bad at the game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's the Space Marines' fault that they're bad. Like, just Space Marine players in general are bad, which is pretty. I don't know.
Like, we gave you 8,000 data sheets. We gave you 2 extra victory points.
They undid the AdMech nerf from the previous data slate, I believe, or back
yeah,
data slate, right?
That was actually pretty good. I think
so.
That's
thankfully though
might be one of the first, maybe one of the first Control Zs that they've done that I'm aware of. Why do you think
Danny's
though?
Laughing because you didn't say Control Z.
Well, we also have to know our keyboard commands, guys. Don't make me control Y that joke and change it around a bit. But nonetheless, look, guys, what I'm trying to say here is, why do you think that there seems to be a reluctance to, that they're willing to modify the balance data slate, but if it's in one of those fancy errata FAQs, those things are written in tablets, quarried by Moses. So why can't they just delete some of the 8th edition era Space Marine nerfs that were done to those supplemental books? What could the possible reticence be around doing that?
There aren't any 8th edition era nerfs to Space Marines because that codex came out in 9th edition.
Battle Company returns.
Maybe you mean like maybe the supplements.
I did use the word supplement, Danny.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So
Yeah, he doesn't listen to you either.
Daddy. But yeah, why would there be like it does seem like this also happened. I remember calling this out in 8th edition itself. It's like as you got to the end of the cycle, there would be nerfs from the beginning of the cycle. It was like, okay, well, these are a little heavy-handed at this point.
Sure.
Why not undo stuff?
Yeah, no, I think that's probably a good idea, but that didn't happen at all. So I think that's another factor of disappointment that other people might have. Between that and like as nerf E01 notes, Necrons and sister secondaries didn't get changed while the Space Marine ones did, and I think that's probably a mistake. The Necron ones shouldn't be an auto, like some of them shouldn't be like automatically 15 points basically. I think that's kind of not good. And the sisters ones that they can score like 15 points on the end of the game if they go second, like automatically, is like pretty stupid. I think the mid nerfs were pretty fair.
They're not willing to change the secondaries as much because they don't want to be seen as invalidating a book that itself invalidates itself within 6 months. Because if all of the secondaries from here on out are going to be in the GT packs.
Did you just say, why didn't they invalidate the nerfs that they're going to invalidate?
No, I'm saying, do you think that's the reason why they didn't want to nerf or change the secondaries?
Oh, because they are going to be changed. Because you think they're going to be changed coming up.
I think that's stupid. Then they can get some testing. I mean, the stuff's already going to go to print, so I guess that doesn't matter. They already know the changes they're going to make to those. So I don't know, possibly, but they made changes to the Space Marine one, so obviously they're not afraid to make changes to those secondaries.
It's just interesting. I really do sometimes wonder like what the internal mechanisms are and what the politics might be behind some of this stuff and why, especially now that we do have the actual like studio guy front and center delivering the keynote on these updates. It's interesting that they wouldn't go back and review stuff outside of that balance stuff. I wonder why they're siloed in that way. It seems weird.
I mean, he has a 6-point plan for competitive play, and I can't wait to see it play out. Moving on. The data slate, it came, it went. It sort of didn't do anything, and it sort of did at the same time. But guys, do you want the benefits of the LVO High Roller Pass? Get all the goodies that come with it, have a value far beyond the cost of the item, without having to socialize with people or the general public.
Perfect.
Well, do we here have great news for you, as Frontline Gaming is bringing you their exclusive hobby boxes filled with amazing product from Frontline Gaming, the Army Painter, Cromlech, Squad Marks, and more. And if you didn't even want to buy one, you can currently win one through Frontline Gaming's Facebook page, or buy your own through the link below this video podcast, or even the podcast at frontlinegaming.org. All the swag, none of the people, hobby boxes. See, told you Val I would do it. Danny, what are some of your favorite VIP inclusions of the last few years? You're a famed high roller yourself. What's some of the cool stuff you've got in there?
Oh man, I get all kinds of cool stuff in the high roller package. Actually, I hope that we get to see some things. Like I've got some fancy neoprene objective markers from LVO, which were really nice. I'm really glad I got to get those. I got what else? I got oh god, what is the name of that game? The fantasy kill team game. I got an entire copy of that. What is it? Shadespire. Now I don't know what the new one is.
Warcry?
No, we got Shadespire last year.
Yeah.
LVO, you got a copy of the new Shadespire.
It's Underworlds.
Dire Chasm.
Yeah, Underworlds. Thank you, Val.
Yeah. Dire Chasm, though.
Actually, I'm super excited about Dire Chasm. I'm really excited about the new changes to Shadespire, but that can be a conversation for another time. And then I got some paints. Actually, I got some sick paints from Pro Acryl. I got the transparent purple I use all the time. In fact, it's like right here on my painting desk. This shit is awesome. So I'm super stoked I got that. That is perfect for my painting style. I love purple. I got some brushes. I got some dice. I got some miniatures. I did get some Privateer Press miniatures that were pretty crappy. But that's not their fault. That's Privateer Press. But other than that, like I mean, I got them for free, I paid for them, but like they were like the value of the package was way worth it. Oh, the pint glass, which I left in my hotel room in Vegas. Real class move there. I was really bummed about that.
Moral of the story here, guys, is that Frontline Gaming right now is not selling VIP passes. Those have sold out. But if you wanted to get something similar,
yeah,
you could both use the campaign that Frontline's doing. You can just go to the various social accounts and click it off. I'll make sure to put the link's not there right now, but I'll get it in there. To a cool contest. You have a chance to win the box. You can actually purchase the box using our link. It'll help out the show if you want to do it. You get to like have a nice Brad Pitt moment, and when you open it, it's not a loved one's head. It will be hobby supplies. So there you go. I pitched that way better. I made you think of a dismembered head in a box.
Oh, sorry. Was I supposed to be pitching that? I was just describing the things that I got in my...
No, I think I actually did a better job than John. That's for sure. Yes.
Well, it's all of the benefits of the free stuff for the High Roller Pass.
Can you just pretend? Here's how we do this. So just pretend. Just pretend that Frontline Gaming is Games Workshop, and then just talk about it, and you guys will just be real natural, like real like positive shills. It'll be great.
Oh, here we go. Great. Yeah. So when are they going to fix the game again? No.
Yeah, so my friend got the High Roller or like a package at the last GW Open that was really nice too. I saw that. So I'm sure Frontline pulls together something exactly just as good.
Just as good. Just as good.
Stuff.
Actually, it looks really sick.
That is. We're gonna roll out tonight and finish off. I just want to bring people's attention.
Oh, I just got a text message.
Oh no. From who, Val?
What do we got? Oh yeah, let's advertise something else. Good stuff. I like great slide. That's
the one where Val gets fired on air. Is that the name of this episode?
Let's move on to the next slide, guys.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna finish out tonight with this more free stuff. I just want to let people know that Mechanicus is going to be free on the Epic Game Store on October 27th. We didn't get any money for this. I mean, if you want to give us money for this, Mechanicus people, go ahead and do it. But it's a great game, and October the 27th, it will be free. That's all I wanted to say. Val,
you're so disappointed, Val.
You have the look of a man who knows this is our last episode.
The Epic Game Store, man? Come on. The Epic Game Store. They need help? You think they need help?
Look,
you think they need help? You think they I had such a hard time hearing about the new promotion from the Epic Game Store.
Some people just
Reese
don't know about it.
Legitimately help us put on this show every single week, and you upstage their very good product with a freemium game on the Epic Game Store. I'm at a loss. Guys. The Hobby Box promotion goes to the end of this week. You can sign up. You have a chance to win. You really help us all out. We work really hard to make this content, except for John.
Wow.
I'm going to say that's categorically false. Two of the three of us just
actually, I'm going to back
John
up on this one. John works really hard every week to make sure that we have a show. So, John, I really appreciate you.
Yeah, no, like seriously, John. You do good stuff. It's great. It's great.
I'm crying inside. Although Tim the Sorcerer coming along, so live coverage of events is getting better and better. Val, keep it up.
Well, that's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
one day,
we're gonna leave it on
we'll
that positive note and not read
it's
the next
good.
one.
It's good.
Perfect. Danny, Val berated me for daring to offer people something that I think they wouldn't maybe notice, because who the fuck uses the Epic Game Store?
They always try to get me to get Total War games on Epic Games.
John, if you want to ghostwrite for me when you get fired, it's fine, dude. I'll be happy to have you on.
So it's
well, I already know both of our collective abilities to book guests, so I'll just switch to a TV series. What? I was going to say my usual, what an amazing show, but no, what a show.
It was an amazing show. I think it was a good show.
Yeah. We still
what I do.
This is a good show. That was a good bit. I think we just had what they call a good bit. I think the audience probably enjoyed that little back and forth. It's not real. I'm not actually upset.
Better believe your
it is funny that
you better believe
plugged the
$1
billion-dollar corporation after us. What?
You better believe your ass, live viewers and podcast listeners, I will promote something from the Epic Games Store every week. Even if it is just Fortnite.
God, I can't wait to start our Mechanicus podcast on the Epic Games
Of all
Network.
of the shows we've ever created, this was certainly one of them.
Definitely a show.
We'll be back next week to go over something or other. Probably have Val back, just to keep me grounded. We'll go over the highest highs and the lowest lows of the community. Thank you everyone for watching. And as always, it's pretty grim after dark.
Bye, you guys.